Good afternoon and welcome to the Garrison Militaria. So, for the first video of this channel, I decided to bring out a pretty infamous piece of history, which is the German K98, 98K, Carabiner 98K, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's all the same. It all makes sense. But I would save your oohs and ahs because this one is a Czech Brno made one, which makes it 1945 at the earliest, most likely post-war. Still has its Israeli markings right here on the stock. Has a Czechoslovakia Brno factory stampings right here on the receiver. And this one doesn't have DOT on it, like a lot of them do. It's either, it looks like it's been milled off or scratched off. Has the what people call the winter trigger, but from my understanding, the Germans never actually, with wartime German-made K98s or made in Germany K98s, they never used this to my knowledge. I might be wrong, probably am, but to my knowledge, they never issued K98s during the war with these winter triggers. I'll get a close-up of this trigger in a second here. As promised, here's a close-up of the trigger. They say it's a winter trigger, so you could fit, if you're wearing a glove, you could wear your fat fucking glove with your finger in it and still be able to pull the trigger without it being a super small trigger guard. So I'm not going to go super in depth on the history of this rifle, as it does run deep, and it is still making history today in parts of Africa and the sandbox. So to give a quick brief overview of the history of this rifle, when Hitler became Chancellor of Germany, he pulled Germany out of the League of Nations and announced he'd be expanding the German Wehrmacht, the army, to about 600,000. With that being said, he assigned Germany's weapons manufacturing agency, I'm probably going to butcher the fucking name, the Heereswaffenamt, it's probably wrong, the pronunciation of it, and tasked them with creating a new rifle for the German army. And that turned out to be the K98. First manufactured in 1935, I believe, it was Germany's standard infantry rifle for from 1935 to the end of the war in 1945. And about 14 million were produced in Germany, and more were produced outside of Germany and post-war, such as this one, since it is a Czechoslovakian Brno-made K98 post-war. So, with that being said, a lot of these were made. They're very well sought after, and many countries, I'm not even going to try to name a fat list of them because there's too many, and I doubt you guys want to hear that. But a very good rifle, and there's quite a few features that were added to it. In 1942, you were able to attach a grenade launcher to it. Obviously, if you played any fucking video games, you would know you could attach a telescopic sight, a scope to it, and obviously a bayonet. Have the bayonet lug here. And one thing I didn't know about this rifle is that there was a suppressor attachment called a Hub 23, HUB 23, which you would have to change out the 8mm Mauser round to shoot with the suppressor on it. But I didn't know they had a suppressor for this rifle, which is an interesting fact. You learn something new every day. Pretty fucking long, understandable. It fired an 8mm Mauser round. This is a 8mm Mauser round, soft point. I'm not gonna put it in there. It's a live round, you get the point. It's around 8.2 to 9 pounds, fully loaded. If you have 5 rounds in there, a bayonet, whatever the fuck else. Its muzzle velocity is about 2,400 feet per second to about 2,800 feet per second. With iron sights, your effective range is about 400 meters, 400 yards, and your effective firing range with a telescopic sight, a scope on it, would be about 1,000 yards, 1,000 meters. Sounds about right. The 8mm Mauser round. This is a soft point round. You probably can't see it on the camera too well. I hope you can. But the rear sight is a V-shaped notched tangent sight. And then your front sight is a post sight. Typical, pretty standard for bolt action rifles at the time. So, to my understanding, with K98s, I've gotten different answers from different owners that have obviously different K98s. But what I've learned is that some of them, once you open the bolt on an empty magazine, you can't close it on an empty magazine. So some people have the milled magazine, I believe, where it just lets the bolt slide right on forward back into to its place. But this one, particularly with other K98s as well, if it's on an empty magazine, the bolt won't close. So you'll have to push it down with your thumb, and then the bolt goes back to where it's supposed to go. Thank you guys for watching the video. I'm gonna throw some shooting footage of this gorgeous rifle in after this clip. Thank you guys for stopping by. Thank you for watching, and hopefully the quality isn't too bad and everything is up to your liking. With that being said, thank you for visiting the Garrison Militaria. All of our links and socials will be down below, and hope to see you again. Thank you.